Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. Today is Friday, and that means it is my weekly meal video upload. This is week 6 of my $25 grocery budget challenge of 2025. The way the challenge works is I'm spending $25 cash, but I am using every strategy available to me to increase what I am able to get for more than just cash. I had really great meals this week. I was away from home for work for one day at a professional development day, and lunch was provided. So there's one day where there was no lunch, but other than that, check it out. And yes, of course, I shared pretty much every single lunch and supper with the handsome one this week. Tomorrow morning will be the first meal of week 6, but I'm doing a little bit of prep work now. I have cut the largest of my spaghetti squash. I'm going to roast it. I actually went through some of the tomatoes that I pulled out of the plants outside on that very last night when we stripped them all, and they are starting to ripen. You can see like at different rates here. Some are orange, some are beet red. I've pulled these ones out of all of the ones. I need to focus on using these up during week 6. I've got an idea. It's my little bowl full of peppers. I got all kinds of garden stuff still. Tomorrow is going to be November 21st. I think this is pretty awesome. I did well this year. I've just got the squash upside down on a baking stone and a little bit of water. I've got the seeds washed, and I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on these and get these in the oven to bake. Woo! Look at that steam. These look great. Oh yeah. And these look great. I'm going to have one. For once, I didn't burn the seeds. We've got the seeds, the squash, the guts of the squash. These are the skins, and I am going to put these in my scrap bags. Last 2 breakfast bites for breakfast, little egg cups. For lunch today and several days, I am going to make squash pancakes, or maybe waffles. I haven't decided yet, but I love squash flavored pancakes and waffles. So I cooked the squash. I have all of the other ingredients that I need set out here, and I'm really undecided at this point if I'm going to make a full batch or a half batch. We'll see. In this bowl, there is 1 cup of cooked squash, 2 tablespoons of melted butter. I used softened butter. 2 tablespoons of table syrup, 3/4 of a cup of almond milk, 3/4 of a cup of water, and 1 egg. I'm going to use my blender, my mixer, and I'm going to mix this up. Change of plans. I'm actually going to use my immersion blender because I want to blend up the little stringy pieces of the spaghetti squash. I was supposed to add the dry ingredients separately, mix that up, and then merge that into here. But what's happening is I've put in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Actually, I only had about 1.5. So I'm totally out of nutmeg. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1.5 cups of flour is what I'm going to merge in. The instructions are, if this is too thick, to add water, a little bit of water to thin it out. Do we think this is too thick? Should I add a tiny bit of water? I feel this is close to the right consistency, but I am going to add just a tiny bit of water. Tiny. The beginnings, the squash pancakes. Looking so delicious, so spicy. Can you see the little spices in there? So spicy. These look amazing. They smell so good. I'm really excited. Squash pancakes. The handsome one and I both ate squash pancakes for lunch. I have 5 pancakes left. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these as breakfasts for me or lunches for the two of us or a combination, but I've got choices now, options. I'm just getting some supplies set out, making pizza for supper, but I am going to be running an errand, and the handsome one said that he would put the pizza dough in the bread maker for me. So I'm just getting everything ready. I got out this little pizza pack that I made to thaw, and this is the ground beef. It's cooked already. I'm going to use half of it on the pizza tonight, and I'm going to save the other half to go with the other pizza pack that I have for another week. The handsome one made the dough. I'm going to roll it out here and get it on the pizza stone. So far I have added on the salami, pepperoni, ham, and I added the half of the ground beef that I had set aside. The other half will go with another pizza in another week. I added onions, green peppers, tomatoes, and mushrooms, and we're going to do something crazy. So a while back for work, now when I say a while back, this is probably a year ago, I was at a function and they ordered it in pizza. And when we were looking at the menu, they had on the menu, it was a dill pickle pizza. And the handsome one and I are very curious about what this would be like if we put some of my homemade dill pickles on this pizza. It's either going to be horrible or delicious. But the one thing that I want to do is get a couple pickles out and pat them dry. We don't want the crust to have a bunch of pickle juice on it. I didn't load it, but I did. I guess I missed a little spot here. Let's move those around. Move this one over there. There. It's a little bit better. And I still need to add on my frozen red peppers and cheese. And on top of the cheese, I will put jalapenos from my garden. I totally forgot the Swiss chard or kale. I'm going to have to lay it on top after, of course, I already carefully put on the jalapenos. I got the dark kind. Let's get it on and get that pizza in the oven. This looks delicious, delicious. Friday really is a fun night to me, and I always like to have something that is fun or special for supper on Fridays. It just seems like it just sets the weekend off to be good. This looks amazing. Now we're going to do the taste test. I'm on piece 2. I can give instant feedback about the pickles. We both love the pickles on the pizza. Who would have thought that? Crazy. Squash pancakes for breakfast. We're going to add a little bit of syrup. Amazing. Salad for lunch. This is the leftover dill salad. And I added cucumber and some tomatoes. Looks good. I know that we haven't even started lunch yet, but I am starting to prepare some items that will be needed for supper. I'm making chili for supper. I am going to make stewed tomatoes out of some of the tomatoes that I had set aside. I've got a bread in. This is just a regular half loaf of oatmeal. These are some of the items that are going in the chili. So I've started stewing the tomatoes that I had saved out, green tomatoes that I saved out and ripened in the house from my garden. I have 1/3 of a pound of ground beef. This is the leftover baked beans that I had from a week before last, I'm saying. I've got lentils that I'm going to boil and add that in to bulk up the chili. I've got actual chili peppers from my garden, chili seasoning, onion. I've got green peppers from my garden. I just pulled this one over here. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm going to use. I'm going to add both cans of the mushrooms, pieces and stems. I have onions. I have celery. Ooh, I forgot something. I'm going to add in half of this can of corn. I'm excited. This is going to be fabulous. This is what the tomatoes look like stewed down. And this is what is going to be the base of my chili. Green peppers, chili peppers, ground beef cooking, and onions cooking here. I am going to add in some of my frozen red peppers. I have the lentils boiling here, and I'm going to add everything into the stewed tomatoes. I added the frozen red peppers. I diced up some celery, about a third of my package of celery I used. Let's get this into the tomatoes I stewed. So this is the beginning. Let's stir this into the stewed tomatoes. Of course, being added into here are the leftover baked beans, the mushrooms, the lentils, and the seasoning, and half a can of corn. But this is good to get started. Looking good so far. All right, here we have the baked beans. Let's get this stirred in. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I actually got spicy chili seasoning mix. When you're limited to the cash you can buy, or what the cash will buy, I figured I might as well get the most bang for my buck. Let's get the spicy. Stirred in. That's looking good. There's that chili color that I'm looking for. Let's get in the mushrooms and the corn. Can 1. Can 2. Half a can of corn. It's looking really great. The bread turned out absolutely perfect. And we are going to have chili and homemade bread for supper. Fantastic chili with homemade bread. The bread is still warm from the bread maker. Butter melted right on it. Very exciting. So I am separating out the fruit. It's touching. I've got 503 here. Ooh, I need to reorganize these, but this is what's happening right now. I added in half an avocado and some Swiss chard. They were bright pink, vibrant pink, until I added in the avocado and the Swiss chard. Smoothies for breakfast. This is the beginning of French onion soup. I'm just going to soften the onions, and I'm going to add in a few mushrooms as well. This looks fabulous. Everything is nice and soft. I'm going to sprinkle some flour on top of this. Then I'm going to add some water, and I'm going to add in a couple of my bouillon cubes. And I'm going to bring it to a boil. I started with 2 bouillon cubes and 6 cups of water, or 1.5 liters of water. I'll taste it, and that's less bouillon to more water than what the stock cubes call for, and if I need to add more cubes, I will. The house smells amazing. French onion soup for lunch. Chili, second night in a row. I already gave the handsome one his bowl. Tonight, I'm having toast with butter with the chili. Chili and toast just go excellent together. I'm having strawberry banana Greek yogurt for breakfast. And you may be wondering if I'm going to give the handsome one of my yogurts to have for breakfast. Well, no, I am not. Because in the fridge from a long time ago, he has yogurt. I'm pretty sure this is peach yogurt, which is his favorite. So he is just going to have that for breakfast on his own, and I'll have my yogurt from the challenge. French onion soup for lunch again today. This soup is extremely easy to make. And if you can get onions for a really great price, or you have onions in your house and you have bouillon, and of course the bouillon I have is from the dollar store, it's a really, really inexpensive but very delicious meal. Tonight for supper, I'm actually extremely excited. I'm going to share with the handsome one, we are having turkey burgers. We are going to barbecue these. Well, the handsome one's going to barbecue them. To go with it, I am going to make half of this Parmesan and garlic sauce, and I'm going to serve it with bow tie pastas, or if you want to be correct, farfalle. And I'm going to serve it with baby Brussels sprouts as well. It's going to be fabulous. The pack is 23 grams, so I've got 12 grams in the pot, and I need to add a half a cup of milk, and I still have quite a bit of almond milk left, and so we'll get this cooking. These are quite large patties. Sauce looks good. This is half the pack. That's all I'm willing to commit to this side. The bow ties are cooking. It smells good. I can smell this already. The handsome one is concerned that the turkey burgers are going to be dry, so he's putting barbecue sauce on his, which he has many different options and choices. So I dug around and scrounged around until I found this little bullseye little sampler, and that's what I'm going to have on mine. I've got the bow ties drained. Let's get this sauce on. I'll scrape that out in a minute. And we'll kind of stir this around. I gotta switch hands. That's plenty of sauce for this. I'm gonna put a little bit of seasoning in there. Salt, pepper. I was going to use homemade bread as a bun. And then I was reminded that these Wonder buns are still in the fridge. And I'm actually going to eat one, and this is why. These buns were best before October the 4th. This goes along with, there's so much preservatives and additives in our food that there's literally nothing wrong with these. But these buns are old. They need to come out of the fridge. I have actually been bugging the handsome one to eat some of the older food out of the fridge when he's not sharing meals with me. So I'm actually going to have one of these buns. I think that's really fair and reasonable, considering that all of the rest of the food that we're eating tonight, besides the buns, is coming from my $25 challenge. Turkey burgers with Parmesan garlic bow tie pasta and Brussels sprouts. I forgot what they were called there for a minute. I cut up tomatoes, and I have mustard and relish on mine. Let's get the cover on. Oh, wow, that looks great. The handsome one has a bunch of other stuff, like he put stuff that he actually has access to in the house, but I don't. This looks really great. I'm excited. I've still got some squash pancakes left. When I had these the other day, they're really thin. It's easy, and I just pop them in the toaster. And I'm going to have the 2 small ones, which will save me a big one for another day. Pancakes, squash ones, yummy. I saved quite a lot of onion skins, and I've been saving them. I actually ran these through the oven, so not my dehydrator, but through the oven at 170 degrees for several hours. These are crispy. I've never made onion powder from onion skins before, but I am going to try to do that today. I'm going to get out my blender. All right, I've got my little blender jammed full. Let's see what this will do. It's going to need my guidance, I think. So this is what it comes down to. Powder, looking like that. The handsome one says, why are you using your big blender? You actually have a little spice blender. Let's try to move this into there, and it might chop it up a little bit better. So you can still see, even though this is chopped up, there's still not still not super fine. This is way better. So I think I'm actually going to use both. Get it down, get the big pieces in this one and get it down to manageable to pour into here. Now I got to get this in a container. This is pretty great. I just made onion powder just from old skins and like the tops and stuff that I cut off of onions. So my recommendation would be, like, if you're concerned about contaminants on onions, to wash your skins first, like soak them in water or soak them in a vinegar water mix and let them dry, and then dehydrate them and then grind them up. French onion soup for lunch today. Steaming hot. I reheated it on the stove and came to a boil, which I didn't really mean to do. Tonight for supper, we are going to have the ham and cheese stuffed chicken breasts with mashed potatoes and green beans. It's going to be great. The cutlets are done. I mashed the potatoes. The beans are in the microwave. Let's get everything plated up. This looks great. We've got the cutlets, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Yummy. A little snack, some celery, and peanut butter. Breakfast today is same as a couple days ago. I am having strawberry banana Greek yogurt that I got on the challenge, and I'm asking the handsome one to eat up some older yogurt that's in the fridge from before the challenge started, because he's not on the challenge. I'm making 7-layer dinner for supper tonight and tomorrow night. Potatoes, rice, peas, onions, carrots, sausage, and tomato soup mixed with water as the sauce. This is the order that they're in here. Onions, then potatoes, then rice, then carrots, then peas, then sausages, and I'm going to top the whole thing with the tomato soup and water mixture. You can see here I've got it covered, and let's get the cover on, and now we'll get it in the oven. This smells and looks amazing. I'm very excited. 7-layer dinner is so easy to make and extremely delicious. Making a smoothie. This is, I put a full banana in there by mistake. I only meant to use a half, but put a full one in there. Half of an avocado. I used all of the rest of, I just rinsed this out, all of the rest of my first little juice box of the apricot nectar. Got some frozen fruit, one of the little yogurt drinks. Let's get this mixed up. All right. Uh-oh, that's not on. Needs my help, I think. These were way too thick, so I added a little bit of water. They look good. The last of the onion soup for lunch today. Looks like I got to heat that a little bit more. This soup was amazingly delicious. I loved it. So good. The handsome one has already eaten, served himself and eaten, like totally done, dishes in the dishwasher. I am eating the rest of the 7-layer dinner. I'm excited. It was delicious last night. I loved it. I had some really exciting meals. Okay, squash pancakes, absolutely delicious. And they stored well in the fridge, and they worked extremely well in the toaster for future meals. So definitely I have more squash. That's probably going to come up again. The chili, amazing way for me to repurpose those baked beans. It turned out fabulous, and I actually have lots of chili left. Now I'm thinking 7-layer dinner. That turned out amazing. The smoothies were yummy. We just had a lot of really great meals. Oh, of course, can't forget fun night pizza. I love having pizza on Friday nights. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in this week. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would do so. It will help me. Likes, shares, comments, they help me as well. And stay tuned. I have not done my grocery shopping yet. So this is going to be a big press over the weekend. I'm really kind of hoping for some Black Friday specials. So I saved pretty much my entire budget for that. So we'll see what tomorrow will bring. Happy weekend.